Chronic pain impacts 1 in 5 Canadians and is even more prevalent among women. Despite that high number, it remains one of the least understood and under-addressed health conditions, particularly when it comes to women's experiences. That's why a group of Canadian leaders in the space came together Monday for a national roundtable on women and chronic pain. My guests this morning are Hélène Le and Dr. Zacharias. They are with the Chronic Pain Centre of Excellence for Canadian Veterans. I got to thank you both for coming here today, and I want to get right into it here. Dr. Zacharias, tell us about the Chronic Pain Centre of Excellence for veterans and it coming together to really host this very, very important event. What's the center about, and how did it play a role in yesterday's event?
First of all, thank you for having us. In 2016, Veterans Affairs Canada did a life after service study, and what they found out, well, you mentioned 20% of Canadians have chronic pain, 40% of male veterans have chronic pain, and 50%, sadly, of female veterans have chronic pain. And that was why they funded us to set up a Chronic Pain Center of Excellence for Canadian veterans. And what we found out was that with veteran women, it is much more serious than the general population. So we started to look at why are the reasons that has happened.
So, Hélène, the center partnered with the Canadian Pain Society. They came together for this roundtable. What brought the two together?
Well, I guess it's something that we cannot address alone. Veterans are part of society, and I think it's important to mix, people from the society with people with lived experience to make sure that we're going to address the situation, entirely.
So, Dr. Zacharias, what are some of the biggest challenges that women and men are facing when it comes to chronic pain? And I have that question for you, but can you explain to folks, I mean, it may be self-explanatory with the name chronic pain, but can you explain a little bit further what that is?
Chronic pain is pain that persists for more than 90 days. It could also be shorter than 90 days if you have a surgical procedure and the pain is inordinately high. So people are struggling today in finding access, especially women. We have underfunded the research with women. We have underserviced them. And in fact, sometimes we make them feel guilty that they're struggling with their pain. So this coalition with the Canadian Pain Society was to say this is a serious problem for Canada. When it affects 8 million women in this country, we need to do something about it. And we brought together researchers, clinicians, funders, policymakers to say it's about time we had a strategy in this country. There are little pockets with the federal government and provinces. We want everybody to work together. We will get more done together.
Dr. Zacharias, do we know why chronic pain seems to acutely affect women more than men?
I think there are multiple reasons for it. One of the issues with veterans is that it was a system designed for men, whether the equipment and all that stuff. And so you put a tremendous burden on that frame, which was never meant to be. So that's been part of the problem. And the other issue is if you don't treat it well initially, it will become chronic pain. And so there's some challenges even in the early stages.
Hélène, what were some of the key takeaways from this roundtable on pain?
Well, I guess bringing all these people together is really key to this, because if we're still working in silos, we're not achieving a lot. And just the fact that we're opening the conversation with key people, for example, the Canadian Armed Forces, Veterans Affairs Canada, but also outside of that, researchers that are involved, in the veteran world, I guess it's really important to to look at it as a collaborative moment where we can step forward and with real actions.
Okay, we have to go, but Dr. Zacharias, is there anywhere where we can find out more information from this roundtable, see the results of the roundtable as a layman, just basically looking into chronic pain?
Yeah, so we will be putting a report together
Great.
probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
We're going to have a webinar in June, and that report will be on our website and the Canadian Pain Society website. But I would like to say one thing, Rosie. Thank you for inviting us. The media can play a huge, huge positive role in advocacy, in awareness, and help us get the message across. So we're really fortunate that you invited us to be here today.
We're really fortunate to have you both on here today to really tackle this issue of chronic pain, especially as we see it plays a predominant role in women's lives, and we're grateful that you're looking into it and finding out ways that we can tackle this issue. Thank you, Helen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Zacharias. It's really,
Thank you very
really
much.
a pleasure to have you both on.